Welcome to the PoP. Welcome to the PoP. On the Morning Brew Sports Network. With your hosts, Genefitzmagic. James, Wudi. Nigel, down. And Caleeb, Pinkett. The PoP. Welcome to the PoP. Welcome to the PoP.
I'm never not going to do that. Just so you guys know, I'm never not going to do that. I love that beat so much. Hey, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, or even good evening, depending on what you're listening to. Yes, and happy Friday to you. Listen, everybody, I apologize for the tardiness. That was mostly me. I got into some conversation with these lovely gentlemen here on the screen, and we were having a good time, having the best time. And then we were like, yo, we got to do a podcast. So we're jumping back on. As you also noticed, Gene is not with us today. He had a family obligation he had to take care of, so we are all with him in that respect. But he will be back with us next week. So, Gene, we're with you, my dude. Do what you got to do. And we'll see you next week, man. It is all good and all love. Speaking of love, let me make sure that we pour it out to you from my compadres, my dudes. Let's start with Caleeb. How are you, sir?
Man, listen, I can't complain. You know what I mean? It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
I love it. There you go. I like how you started like it was going to be an aggressive like attack on something, but it wasn't. It was like, oh man, listen, it's all good. I was like, oh, okay. All right. That took a turn. Mr. James Wudi, how are you, dude? How are you?
Allow me to take some of that blame. You took the blame for the tardiness. Well, I deserve some blame as well. All right. Your boy has COVID. I don't know if this is what I normally sound like, but I didn't even know what time it was. I just rolled out. I'm here, but I'm ready to talk sports. Okay. Doesn't matter how much breath is in my lungs. Sports all day, every day. We're about to get it done. Get it popping.
Nobody is more dedicated to the cause than Mr. James Wudi. That guy has got this affliction, and he is still here talking sports and all things under the umbrella of the Morning Brew Sports Network. That's who you're listening to. This is the Pop Off. Thank you, everybody, for showing up, and don't forget to drop that like, the subscribe, the reshare. Hit us up in the comments. We want to talk to you. We want to hear what you're thinking about all things sports that happened this past week. Not a huge rundown this week, but we got a couple things. Okay, it's not a huge rundown, but we got a couple things. First and foremost, we're going to stay in the NBA because not only was a new champion dawn in the Boston Celtics, but a week later, we have the draft. The NBA draft happened. It was a very, very big deal. But we're going to talk about our winners and losers from this year's NBA draft. I have my opinions, but we're going to start with Caleeb first. Caleeb, winners and losers from the draft.
Well, the biggest winner was France.
Damn it, you took it. You took mine. That's it. I got nothing left. I'm out. Have a good day, everybody. Peace.
You know what I mean? Like, I was like, yo, is this the French league? Like, what is going on? Like, Wemby got it. He sold it. Like, they're like, oh, everybody must be great. But no, shout out to all the young dudes. And yeah, man, it's just like, it's really interesting. I guess the French apparently take it dead serious. You know what I mean? And those dudes are getting an opportunity. Going, taking the first 2 picks in the draft is insane. And then, but you know what? I want to give out the shot to what's his name, Reed, dude from Kentucky, I think. What's the
Reed Shepherd?
Yeah, like it's like I haven't seen somebody in his style, and what I mean, like that kind of like homegrown, like natural, like Opie style looking dude go so high in the draft because he's apparently a sharpshooter. Right? I only watched a little bit. I told you I don't do college too much, only in the tournament. Like I don't follow it, you know what I mean? So but I saw, of course, his highlights, and then I saw him in the tournament, but they got beat, so I wasn't thinking too much of it. But it's a good thing for these young kids, man, to get the opportunity. What I loved about the draft, though, is one of the other biggest winner are the designers of all the suits. You know what I mean? Them kids put that stuff on, like they out there doing it. It was really funny to see. And also the third one I'll say, the girlfriends. If you saw all the girlfriends, they're like, it's like the moms, not so much the mothers, but it's the sisters and the girlfriends. They more happy than anything. You know what I mean? They got their phones out. They do it. I was like, here they go. They think they just made it to the league. You know what I mean? So it's great all around for everybody involved, but I enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this about that is that I'm starting to not be able to tell who the sister and who the mother and who the girlfriend is because
don't be like that.
They look so young. They look fantastic.
Don't be like that.
I'm just saying, I'm having a hard time.
That's a problem. That's a problem in our community. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Wudi, what are your thoughts on the draft, man?
I got a winner and a loser.
Fantastic.
I'll start with the loser because that happened first.
okay.
The Atlanta Hawks.
Oh,
They had a chance. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
So tell me why you think they're a loser for getting homeboy.
When you have a star point guard, which they have, Trae Young is a star point guard. I feel like the next building block is that star big man. You get the inside-outside game. Alex Sarr was a guy that they were saying was, Wemby Jr. Doesn't have the wingspan, doesn't have the height, but he's 7'1" with a 7'6" wingspan. So it's not like, he doesn't have Wemby's measurables, but he still has great measurables for somebody who can shoot outside, score off the dribble, defend the rim at a high level. I mean, Trae Young made Clint Capella, play like somebody who got paid $100 million. What would he have done with Alex Sarr to get this wing where, the fit isn't going to be the same? I feel like, I don't know. Does that mean Trae's out? I feel like that was the wrong move if you're building around Trae Young. If you're just blowing up the whole roster, fine. Maybe this guy can be the franchise. But I think Alex Sarr would have been the perfect move for a Trae Young team.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that whole franchise is a mess anyway. I think like they low key are just a mess, and nobody's really talking about the franchise as a whole. Like we're mostly talking about Trae Young, but we're not talking about, hey, is anybody going to take a step back and just look at the actual Atlanta Hawks right now? Because
they missed their window.
Yeah,
they missed it. They got it. They have to wheel and deal. So I get what Wudi's saying, right, about SARS, because he's right. But if they're gonna, I don't think they get rid of Trae Young because you do need a point guard, right? Yeah. And he can score, right? So you need that. And then you got this new kid from France who I never seen play, but from his highlights he looks phenomenal. From his highlights, it's like shadow boxing. Everybody look good hitting that hair. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he looks good, but they're gonna have to start trading. They're gonna have to make big trades. Like they're not in the PG trade thing, but I mean, like they got to be thinking like that. They got to bring something. And Atlanta is a desirable city because of the taxes. Also, it's the black hip hop capital. Right, so it's all of that strip club capital. You can't act like them young boys ain't trying to hear about that. And it's
only, what you're talking about.
It's only an hour flight from Miami. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm being for real. So
I know, like, but you being for real is the most fun because that makes sense.
Yeah, it's
man.
I get it. So what I mean is it's desirable. It's not like Indiana, right? It's not like something like no shot against Indiana. I'm just mean like you know what I'm saying. There's certain cities, right? So I think it's they could, but they're gonna have to blow that team up or use some of their players to get others. Like, shoot, they better try to go get my boy KD. Phoenix, like anything. Just start putting it out there because you got to bring somebody in there with them. You have to.
Yeah, they definitely are missing a lot of pieces. Like they just can't keep up. They'll be in the first quarter, and then after that, it's kind of a wrap. What I feel anyway, especially last season, they were very, very quickly discarded in the conversation, any kind of wild card playoff, like anything. It was kind of a wrap. And also then with that, I will wait. Did you talk about your winner? That was just your loser, right, Wudi?
Yeah, I did. I wanted the loser to marinate, have you guys react to the loser, and then the winner.
Yeah,
I got Rob Dillingham, also from Kentucky. What Caleb was talking about, was able to get traded to Minnesota. What
you guys are eating up all my. I got nothing left after that. That was another one. Yeah, no, hit it though, man. That's 100% correct. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh well, I was just gonna say, they desperately needed him. They needed him in the playoffs. Ant is spectacular. One of my biggest pet peeves is seeing shooting guards play point guard. And he unfortunately had to take that role a little bit too much because the only point guard they had was 45-year-old Mike Conley, who cannot play any more than 13 minutes a game, or his knees they just fall off. So to bring in a young, quality, athletic guard is huge, a huge building block on a rookie contract. I think they just extended their window. This was a huge get for the T-Wolves, but for Dillingham himself, it's a great place for him to develop where he won't have to be the top option, or even, he would be the third option at most because Cat is still there. So this is a really nice place for him to develop into the shadows and not get roasted the same way, some of these other top 10 picks are going to be being the guy on their team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a huge pickup for Minnesota because it's like things are apparent with certain teams. This is very vague right now, but things are apparent with certain teams where you're like, oh man, they need one more piece. But like this is the exact thing where you're like, oh man, they're so close to going so much deeper into the playoffs. You saw what happened with Boston once they got Porzingis. I mean, when he's healthy. Like it's like he is actually the missing piece to what they had created, I think, in terms of there's just a little bit of a gap here. What kind of player can we fill that with? And he was the perfect role player. I think Minnesota is literally another, maybe one other piece away, so they can go a little deeper into the bench. And then it's like, who knows what's going to happen with that team. So I'm stoked to see what they do. That's what I'm thinking. Listen. We jumped over a very pivotal step of the pop off. And if you have been a regular listener or watcher, you know what's coming up next. I even talk about this hat today. Let's talk about the fitted real quick. The hat check, the quick fit check. This one here, shout out to my people at Still is a Canadian local shop. And they just hook me up with all the best hats. When I say hook me up, I mean I pay for them, they mail it, and then I talk about it on air. Check it out. This one here is called Ransom Script. Toronto Jays here, Ransom Script. And it just dropped today. Woo! Boy, got that old school Jays logo, and we got that flat batter man up in there. Look at that. Okay. This, I believe, is the first team outside of I think it was the Mets who have a design like this. The first team outside of the Mets to get one. I believe that is correct. So I'm stoked. I wore that, and I wore it today because the Jays, they held the Yankees for ransom last night, baby. It was like 7-0 in the first inning. It was crazy, and I think it ended up being like 9-2. So shout out to my Jays right now. They beat up the Yankees, and I wore it for Gene mostly, but I have to just hear about it later, or I'll wear it again. You guys know I won't wear it again. The chances are very slim. All right, let's keep this show rolling. So you took my winners. Both of you guys took my winners. I appreciate that. And there was a couple losers in the mix. There's other teams too, like Charlotte's still not going to be great. There's a couple other teams that are just like going to be very just not good. So there's a lot of work. Some franchises have a lot of work, but then some franchises are going generational. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, I say the one, the only Showtime Lakers drafting Bronny James at number 55. How do we feel about that? It was in the second day, so it was yesterday. They drafted Bronny James. I don't even know. I have a lot of opinions about it. Some good, some bad, just all things. Let's start with Wudi, then we'll go to Caleeb, and then I'm going to jump in the mix if there's anything left. Wudi.
To me, there's, the boy who, I think everybody should root for, be in his corner. I mean, he's a human being. Nobody chose. He didn't choose to, be somebody's son. He did choose to pursue a career in basketball, and he's made it to the big dance. So, the ill will toward him, that's something I can't get down with. Now, the circus in general, LeBron James just calling these shots is sickening. It's a matter of fact, I don't even know. Maybe it's not COVID that I have. Maybe I'm just sick and tired of seeing LeBron James just run all of his organizations to the ground. We make fun of Michael Jordan and how he could not, do a thing with the Charlotte Bobcats, turned Hornets, right? And he's a horrible owner, drafted Kwame Brown. What about Le GM? Le GM just hiring friends, firing friends, hired another friend right now. Now just force his team to draft this boy he's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready for the NBA, but here he is. And now every single thing they do, father and son, they just went to practice together. Father and son, they just took a shit together. Father and son, they're just doing all this random stuff, like the media circus. If you're really about it, you're really trying to win a ring in the twilight of your career, this is a wrong move. But maybe he doesn't. Maybe this is literally just, playing with his boy, having that memory, having those moments. And if that's the case, then the Lakers probably should have let them go somewhere else, because the Lakers, now that the Celtics have won, they have more championships. They should want to pursue the championship. Let that, Lifetime movie happen in another franchise. The Lakers should be about winning. But, we're just going to watch the circus unfold for however long it lasts.
They did draft a shooter, though, before him to go with Austin, that I think that is desperately needed. With Redick as a coach, who was a sniper in his own right, I think it's a good piece. Now to the Bronny thing, right? Okay, so because you said a few things that I want to address, because you're right, but I look at it differently, because I feel the same way about the LeBron thing, but I'm not angry about it. I am air quotes glad. Here's what I mean by that. It's because for all these years that Black athletes have been used and exploited and done with any way that they want, not taken care of. Anything happens, next up, get them out of here. We don't care, right? Like completely discarded. To have a Black athlete say, I want this coach and you taking my son. Go ahead, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to see it. And they got to say, yes, sir, Mr. James, because you're so important. For the first time, you can do that. It's it shocks people because we're not used to it, right? It's but a lot of white owners and team and players have called their shots for years, done what they wanted for years, hired their own cousins, brothers, sisters, mothers. Lakers is a nepotism thing. Genie Bus, Jerry Bus, Dr. Bus Jr., Sammy Davis Jr. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's everybody, you know what I'm saying? So it's a real thing in the world. So let's stop acting like it's something new. You would see a tire shop, Wilson and Sons or something. Come on. All right. So that's part of the American way. Anyway.
Okay. Before you move on, because I know you have more points, I just want to push back on that a little bit. We have never actually seen we've seen, sure, people call shots, but we've never seen a guy call a shot to bring in his own.
No, that's my point. That's why I'm I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
You
it.
know
Got
what
it.
I'm saying? Jerry Jones is like, I don't care if Steven didn't go to college. Come on up here. George Bush Sr. was like, I don't care if George was doing cocaine. He finna be president because I say so. I run the CIA.
But they've
You know
never
what I'm
played.
saying?
They've never been together in the same universe. Like they've never played
No.
together.
But there's
this
right. No, in this respect, it hasn't happened like that.
Right.
But Ken Griffey Jr. played with his father.
Yep.
So shoot, Barry Bonds was with his dad, and his godfather was Willie Mays. I mean, it's like, but here's the thing that a lot of people are overlooking, like, because they're like acting like they're upset. They're not mad at LeBron, because people do that all the time. What they're upset about is they don't think Bronny deserves it. See, that's what it is. Nobody pushed back on Ken Griffey Jr. because they can be like, shit, that boy can. You seen him swing, right? Barry Bonds, they like, man, that dude can play. Nobody was like, oh my God, I can't believe Janet Jackson has a record deal. Right? They're like, Janet Jackson. You know what I mean? Like each person, they actually proved beforehand that they deserve it. Now, you may have to still work out of the shadow, but the idea of whether or not you're supposed to be there was never a question for any of those other people. Wudi said it. He's not ready. So that's what bothers people, because they feel like now it's unfair. People are okay with it, and they expect it if you got a son or somebody that is actually good. Nobody called Deion Sanders with his son being a quarterback nepotism, because the kid could actually play. If he was garbage, they'd be like, right? And I'm not saying Bronny's garbage, but he averaged 4.8 points, 2.8 rebounds. I mean, like, people are like, come on now. There's dudes that didn't get drafted that average more than that. You know what I mean? And this stuff. So that is what the uproar is about. But the truth of the world is it don't matter, because LeBron said this is what's going to be. You know what I mean? It's like, what you got, and I get it. He's wielding his power. You may not like the way that he's wielding it. I'm just glad that he actually has the power to be able to do it. Here's the biggest loser in the situation. It's Bronny himself, because he'll never get the respect that he really wants to have. If he was serious, he would have told his dad and Rich Paul, do not draft me. I'd rather not get drafted than get put on the team. I can go play in Russia, Lithuania, Australia, Germany, France, where all the ballers are coming from, by the way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying.
I
like,
know, it's funny.
He could have went because I'm telling you, coming from somebody who comes from a family of people that work in the business that I work in, I know what that is. Everybody wants to equate whatever you do to them, like they did it for you. So you got to work extra hard to prove that you not only deserve to be there, but you have the skill, and you have to do what you can to push away from it. Because if you do not, you'll never, ever escape it. And this start for him, and the way that it's happened, it's almost, he has to become LeBron Jordan Bryant to like get out of it. You know, I'm serious. Like, because it's just what it is. Like, you see Giannis's brother, he don't care. He know he only there because his brother there. He's like, and when we done, we out. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't think Bronny is that. I really think he loves the game and he actually wants to play. I think he's reserved to the fact that he'll never be as good as his dad. I really believe that. But I think he just wants to play and just be him. And when your people above you do that for shit on your behalf, it ruins it for the others to root for you in the game. Like, dudes ain't gonna let him get off in the game. They're gonna try to be on, like it's just unnecessary pressure on the kid. He won't be playing for the Lakers very much this season. He'll be in the G League. He'll do all of that. He'll get his playing time up in there, and he'll get into the game when they're up by 30 and stuff like that. But I just feel, especially this first season, but I just feel like it wasn't a real consideration for him necessarily because of what it does. It's the same thing that happened to Lonzo Ball. Dad talking all that mess, and that's just your dad talking who's not in the league.
I think one of the main points, because you raise a lot of valid points, a lot of them. I think the main point for me that we haven't mentioned or that hasn't been talked about is the fact that they are on the right side of history. That this is like iconic in NBA history. This is now locking in the LeBron James era of basketball forever. He is the first player in the NBA history to play with his son. Whenever that moment happens, that is, I think, Caleb, that's where me and you are in the same lane. That's where it's short-sighted, because it's like, cool, that happens. Lights are going to go crazy. People are going to be taking crazy photos. Videos are going to be all over social. It's going to be wild. This is the first time, and it's LeBron James, like just his name alone, and Bronny's on the court. They do a shake or whatever it is, and then that moment is over. And then Bronny has to go back to or remain the player trying to get up, trying to not even live in the shadow, because he's going to live in the shadow. There's no doubt about it. He's not going to be as good as his dad. But I think it's the fact that history is being made. LeBron had a part of it. He could pull a lot of strings to make it happen. And the Lakers organization was like, okay, look, we'll draft. We need to draft a piece. But we have all the faith in the world with all the assets we have, because we made it to the playoffs last year and we shocked a lot of people, and we can still do it again one more year. We think, Davis, we think you'll be healthy enough just for enough games for us to do something. LeBron, we're going to do this solid, because we think it's going to be fantastic, because it's also the Lakers. We also have to remember it's the Showtime. It's the Lakers. They always want to be first with everything, man. Now that they've lost the title, the number of titles. India have 17 now, I believe, right? And then Boston has 18. So they've lost it by 1. So now it's a whole thing. And then listen, the debate it's up for debate. It's the Minnesota Lakers and the LA Lakers, whatever the thing is. But that's the thing. So for me, that's what it more so is. It's the fact that history is there. They grabbed a hold of it. It's going to be short-lived, and then they have to go back to play basketball.
Well, I tell you this, I think you're 100% right about that. And that's what I mean by on him. It's just unfair. And please, God, don't let LeBron make moves to like put him up in the lineup and stuff like that. Because that's what the players, we won't know, but the players will. And they'll start reacting to that. I saw a little sketch on YouTube today where somebody, LeBron was telling D'Lo, hey, Bronny's starting now. So you're going to come in off the bench. And he was like, no, Dad, don't do that. He was like, no. He's cool with that. Ain't that right, D'Lo? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's hilarious, but if he was that, it's terrible. But here's what I was gonna say. Because I'm a Jordan. I think Jordan is the greatest. I don't think LeBron is. I think LeBron is I think Kobe is better than LeBron, but I'll stop. People debate me all the time, but I'm a Jordan guy. But I'm gonna tell you the move LeBron could do that would move him to number 1 in my book, and I would say it on every place I would be. If they just drafted Bronny and he opts out and goes plays for another team. If he left the Lakers and went to New York or something crazy, or go join the Celtics, or just do something crazy because he's like, got y'all. Right? I'd be like, he's the greatest ever. He's the greatest ever. But he's not. He won't do that, which is why he'll never be number 1. It'll always be Michael Jeffrey Jordan. But like I said, Amen. It's amazing. And, he's played long enough. Like, think about that. You know what I mean? And, whatever it is, he's still playing. And I think it's amazing. So, good for them. I just feel bad for Bronny, because he'll never live that down. He'll always be looked upon as that.
One thing I want to add is that, in terms of the sketch, right? And, LeBron just put him in the starting lineup. They already put in his contract that he cannot be sent to the G League. He's one of the only second-round draft picks in NBA history to not have a two-way contract. He can
that's the BS. That's all. It's all. If I'm not even on the team, and I'm like, you gotta be good. Imagine the dude who had to go to the G League, like a Austin Reeves, and those dudes. Are you kidding? See, that's what I mean by hurting him. They're hurting him. He didn't ask for that. I guarantee you, Bronny did not ask for that. That's a Rich Paul, LeBron James doing that. That is what I'm talking about. Oh man, they're ruining it for that kid. They are ruining it. They just are. They just do not want that kid to have any friends. They don't want nobody to like that.
Any friends?
You know what I'm saying?
No,
the
Lakers
you know
no new
how,
friends.
because when people think you got something easy and they had to work hard for it, and you're not doing the steps that they had to do, man, don't let Reddick go easy on him in practice. Woo! Oh, no. You know, y'all, he had a cardiac arrest. You know, he don't need to do these lines. They're going to be like, I'm telling you. And all that, and what I'm saying, why I mentioned the medical thing, because it's true. So it's a valid reason. Don't matter. I'm telling you, athletes ain't trying. It's not even athletes. Humans, people do not like that. Nigel, if you're a comedian, you know what it takes to be able to get up on a stage at a comedian, at a comedy house, and based on popularity and all that, you get a certain amount of time and you get bumped if Dave Chappelle comes and all this. And you mean to tell me Dave Chappelle's son wants to do comedy and you supposed to be up? And they like, oh, Nigel, I'm sorry. Move out the way, Chappelle's son. And he's not even great. You know how mad you're going to be? Like, because it's disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. And once a man feels disrespected, I'll bet you already know. So it's like, that's what I mean. Like, those types of things will make people not like Bronny, and he did nothing. Just him being nice will piss somebody off. Hey, guys, what's up? Fuck him. Oh, yeah, what's up? Everything up for you, right? Yeah. Like, he's like, dang, what'd I say? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the energy could be like. Not saying it will be. It could be great in Lakerland. But there's a possibility that it's not when it's stuff like that. Because if Wudi knows that, that means everybody on that team knows that.
Listen, if I was LeBron and this was the first day, the first Lakers home game, and you're taking, those tunnel shots where they're checking out the athletes fitted, what I would do if I was LeBron, I would dress Bronny up like the first day of school. And I would have us walk down the hallway in like, but Bronny has like a backpack on and a lunch pail. I mean, you might as well. We all know what it is. We all know what it is, man. Yeah. But what we don't know is how the Knicks are going to fare, because I want to jump right into this.
Okay.
Now, listen, we could talk about Bronny all day. All the outlets are going to be talking about him for at least another 48 hours. But let's jump right over to the Knicks, how they traded for Mikal Bridges.
Smart.
And, how they traded for Bridges. And they re-signed Mikal Bridges, and they signed for OG. They signed him. They re-signed him. Woo. Okay, what does this do? Wudi, we got to go back to New York, back to your roots. What does this do for the Knicks, and where does this put them amongst East in the league?
There's no doubt that this is the segment that Gene's absence will be missed the most. I know that this topic was already discussed on this channel, Morning Brew Sports. The premier show is the Knicks Morning Brew, so I know they discussed it at length. The reason why Gene's absence will be missed is because we need somebody to say, oh no, they are the best team in the league, when I blatantly say right now that yes, these are good moves, but they're not. They're still not gonna be the best team in the league. What the Knicks have done, and I like it. Let me just say that I like it. Maybe Celso could actually come on and tell me how wrong I am. But what they did was assemble role players. That's what it is. Role players. Now, what I like about Bridges, I think Bridges, that's a huge get. Villanova, we just saw in the playoffs the power of Villanova. These guys, when they say the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, I've never seen that in basketball any greater than what I saw from the Villanova Knicks last year, and Dante DiVincenzo, getting 35 points out the blue. Josh Hart leading the NBA in rebounds out of the blue. So to bring in their other guy, arguably the best of the bunch back then, and bring him in right now, I mean, I feel like now They're on cloud 9. They will be better. It's the exact opposite of the Lakers chemistry. The Knicks chemistry is through the roof. But I don't know. That OG contract really, I mean, I know they're throwing money around in the NBA. They're throwing it. But to give $42 million to a guy who plays 50 games a year out of 82, averages 14 points, he's not going to be the top 3 option. He's not a top 3 option. Brunson, Bridges, Randall, maybe not in that order, but they are definitely getting the touches over OG. I mean, I know, it's crazy, and we always talk about, the NFL, someone like Saquon making $10 million, and we got OG, 4th option on the Knicks, $42 million a year. The cap is going up. Maybe that contract won't age as poorly as I'm thinking. But what this does is pretty much say, all right, this is the squad. This is the squad right here. Brunson, the rest of the Nova Knicks, OG, Randall, figure out the center. This is the squad, Tom Thibodeau. So with health being wealth, okay, all right, they'll compete. And, I think this is the first time since Patrick Ewing was on the team that they've actually had a window of time where they can say, okay, now for the next couple of years, we are going to compete for a championship. So that's a huge deal for Knicks fans. I mean, it's been 25 years since Patrick's, donned the blue and orange. So that's a big deal. But I don't know if it's enough to beat some of these super teams that are like actual stars, together, as opposed to elite role players altogether.
Oh wow, elite role. That's a great way to describe some of the players on the team. Like, no sarcasm intended. Like, that makes sense. You're right. I was also thinking, like, I was just looking at that roster, and you named those starters. I was like, oh, this looks badass. And then I also saw a picture. Bleacher Report and ESPN, they do such a great job of doing these mock, like, photos, right? These renders with, like, the players, and then if they get traded, they immediately know how to put them in a whatever, insert or crop jersey on here. And seeing the 5 of them, I was like, oh, this team looks badass, man. This team looks like a lot of fun. But like you said, I think you nailed it when you said health means wealth. I think that's true. Caleeb.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with Wudi's assessment when he says that they are, like elite role players. Because to me, that sounds like stars, not superstars, but just regular stars. You know what I mean? And to me, I think a team, if they're the Villanova Knicks, where 3 of their starters or people that will be playing together know each other very well, that could gel better than, say, a Lillard and a Giannis who've only played together for 1 season, and it's not even a full season because they were injured, right? Like Tom Thibodeau is a great coach with a team who, like, they're hungry. It's different, right? Rivers has a lot of pressure on him, right? Where he knows it's like if they get close, if he sees 3-1, he gets nervous. He's like, oh no, everything's going to go wrong, right? Versus somebody else. So I think this makes them a strong number 2 in the East. I don't think there's any team better than them except Boston. That's the only team you could put above them right now. I think them together as a team with a healthy Randall, right, back, oh my God. Like, Miami, Butler's getting old too. They're getting rid of people. Like, it's not the same team. They just paid Bam. I love Bam, but Bam's not giving you no points. Not like that. You know what I mean? He's defense and rebounds, which is what you need, but still, it's that. The Bucks, I just talked about them. I'm not really impressed, and I don't think they'll do too much more than what they do anyway. I think the Knicks can beat them. A healthy Bucks team against a healthy Knicks team, I think the Knicks win that in 6, right? Maybe 7, but definitely 6, because I'll give Giannis and Lillard at least 2 if they're healthy. But outside of that, I think the Knicks are really, really strong. It's the Boston of it is the part, because I was surprised to see how well and easily Boston handled the Mavericks. And if the Mavericks came out the West, and I get the Nuggets got knocked off, right? Because I think the Nuggets would have beaten the Mavericks, and that wouldn't have happened. But they didn't. They lost to the Wolves, who the Mavericks whooped up. So if that's the case, the Celtics could beat everybody on the West. If that's the case, and the Knicks are number 2, the Knicks will give everybody on the West a handle as well too, right? Even though we know styles makes fights is not necessarily true. I'm just talking in generalities, which is why I think this trade is a lot stronger, because cohesiveness to me works, is why the Warriors were so strong. It wasn't just because Steph and Clay could shoot the way that they did. That was their superpower. But their secret power was their cohesiveness. The way Livingston could play with what's his, I don't know why I'm blanking. The dude, the oh my God. No, not Draymond. No. The other dude, the older, he was on the Sixers too. Why am I blanking? Iguodala. Right? Like how they could all like gel and play together, and Draymond being that firecracker that allowed Steph and Clay to do what they need to do, and then everybody else can hit the shots when needed to do the thing. And they were able to just be like this unstoppable force. We've never seen a team so good, but it was because they gelled together. Steph became a star. He wasn't a star, right? That's like Brunson. He's becoming a star. He's not going in a star. So I think when you go into situations a star, you're a different dude. It's a different makeup. It's like coming into the league wishing to make $1 million versus sitting on $250 million. Your thing is different. How could it not be? Right? So that's why I think this is a good thing for the Knicks. You got a hungry squad now, and they got close. And they think the only reason why they didn't win is because of injury, right? Because I think they would have gave Boston a time. I think Boston would have won, but they wouldn't have beat them like they beat the Pacers. I tell you that.
Yeah, it's I mean, the Knicks, it is exactly that. It is exactly though cohesiveness. We've seen teams gel like what potentially could happen with the Knicks, since like you mentioned the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, I mean, that was an exciting 2-3 seasons of basketball. Just watching this team form like Voltron, and just people knew their roles. Players knew their roles, and once they settle into that, that's when you know you've got something special. That's how you're going to get those rings. Chicago Bulls did it. The 90s Bulls did it. The 80s Pistons did it. The 70s Bostons did it. I mean, there's all these teams that had made it and had really stood on that one leg or that pedestal, or were cohesive as a team and gelled and helped each other stand up or helped each other balance. And that's how you win a championship. So we only hope the best for the Knicks. Shout out to our producer Celso in the mix. He is officially jumped ship twice after we had talked trash about his Yankees, after I did, and also talked semi-positively about the Knicks. He has a
I like him.
It's fine.
I like the trade. I like it. him. I'm looking forward to see what they do this season.
Yeah, same. Yeah, go ahead, Wudi.
No, well, it's hey, look at the what I'm wearing right now. We are a snake bitten market. Mel Bridges has not missed a game since high school. Okay, for the NBA, 474 straight games. Give that boy to Tom Thibodeau. Would it really be surprising? And Celso, you can mute me if you want. Would it be surprising to see that 474 straight games on the fourth play?
Oh, you did it, man. Why'd you do that?
I could have sworn Brooklyn was in New York. Last time I was in Brooklyn, it was in the state of New York. That's all I know. Maybe I'm tripping because I'm from the West Coast. Maybe I don't know my geography. But I could have sworn Brooklyn was in New York. That's all I'm saying.
And they're worse off. They built a big three and couldn't even do it. They got swept with that big three. I'm telling you, the state of New York is just not. Bad things happen. It's just bad things. There's a curse. There's a hex on New York sports. But I only hope. I hope that the power of Bridges is able to overcome the power of Tibbs, breaking people down.
And we promise that we will not put a hex or a curse on you after you listen to this pod. You've been listening to the Pop Off on the Morning Brew Sports Network right here live. You know what? Make sure to punch that like and hit that subscribe and press that reshare and hit us up in the comments, man. I mean, we got enough people through all the socials, 100 plus that are listening to us, and we're doing the dang thing. So listen, we're going to keep it moving. Only a couple more topics left. We have a bunch of topics that have been mentioned in the chat. UFC, we're going to talk about. I do want to briefly talk about the next topic, which is our thoughts on the new Hardaway to the Pistons trade. I mean, that just happened like, I don't know, 2 hours ago. So shout out to Daniel about thoughts on our Hardaway Pistons trade. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Because again, that's fresh news.
I'm not gonna lie. I saw the comment and I had to open up a new tab real quick.
Yeah.
Right.
And see what happened. Honestly, that's a tremendous trade for the Mavericks. You know, they just went to the finals. It was clearly not enough, right, to try to compete with Boston. And with Quentin Grimes, he is an upgrade from Tim Hardaway Jr. in every single conceivable way that you can analyze a player. Much better defensively, much younger, still a great three-point shooter. And if you give him the reign that Tim Hardaway randomly, gives himself, that green light, he could also create his own shot. So this is somebody who will help the Mavericks immensely on defense, which they needed somebody, right? Somebody to even put a hand up for Jaylen Brown. That's what Quentin Grimes could do. He was doing that for the Knicks at a high level. And then someone who can hit the three. They were not shooting 9%, not a single-digit number percent from three if their name wasn't Luka Doncic on the Mavs. So, Grimes is a sharpshooter as well. So I think for the Mavs, this is a great deal. For the Pistons, they got some picks out of it. They got somebody who, he'll probably have the green light on the Pistons. And, Tim, sometimes he can get 35, and that'll be super exciting. And then other nights he'll go 5 for 35, and that'll be less exciting. But, I think it's probably a win-win for both teams. But the Mavs, if I'm on that team or a fan of that team, it's good to know they're not resting on their laurels making it to the finals. They are trying to win the finals next year.
Yeah. Well said. Caleb, anything to add?
No, I mean, I agree. You know what I mean? And it's I felt bad for Hardaway because he was horrific in the finals. Like hobo bad. Like it was like, oh my gosh, dude. Like it was embarrassing. So he can go to a team that nobody expects anything from so he can, get it together because it's bad. But again, I think you're right about Grimes going to Dallas. I mean, that is a shrewd move. Yeah, that's a shrewd move. That means, for y'all that don't know, that means like intelligent, but like smart with it, but like with a little bit of wit. Like, ooh, like a chess move. Yeah. So I think it was smooth. I think it was smooth and shrewd. And I just don't think Dallas gets back there next year. I think they got lucky, to be honest, that they got there this year to the chip. I do not think they get back next year. I do not. So it's good that they beefed up the firepower, because Grimes gonna have to see if he can shut down Bronny. Everybody know that ain't happening. Bronny going for 30 a night, baby. 30 a night.
Well, you know what? Shout out to Tim Hardaway Jr., who, going to Detroit, he's just turned into a real journeyman. Out of nowhere, he was lighting it up. He was with the Knicks. He's been with the Hawks. He went down to the G League for a couple seasons, then went back to the Knicks and ended up Mavericks. Now he's going to Detroit. I hope that his career has a little bit more left in it, but who's to say? Because Detroit is another one of those teams that is a bad state of affairs, so they really got to clean that action.
It's not
up.
their fault. The whole city.
Not at all.
It's bad. No, it is. Like
I know. Perpetually,
they've been.
Hardaway went to the G League, but Bronny's not going.
Yeah,
Ah!
bro.
That's real. He better not, because I'll sue your ass.
Let's step it up and let's go over to the WNBA. Things are a cooking. This season has definitely been one of the most talked about, I think, in recent history. But I want to talk about Angel Reese. Man, this girl, this woman, this player, she is on a roll. Now, does she have any chance, though, to win the WNBA Rookie of the Year? Because the odds were not in her favor money-wise. We had a really quick answer from Caleb. So let's beef that answer out. Let's just stretch that answer out a little bit longer.
No,
what do you think?
She doesn't. Caitlin's going to win it. Absolutely. Especially Caitlin didn't make the Olympics. Are you kidding? They're like, we got to
panicking.
What are you talking about?
You gotta give her something.
Like that's not even a question. Of course, Caitlin's gonna win it. They have to do the give and take, right? Caitlin, of course, is gonna win that. You know, it's but Angel has been balling. She got 9 double-doubles in a row. She's doing her thing. I like the way that she plays. She plays with heart. Like she plays to play the game.
Yeah.
You know, she's not there to be your friend. She's not there to be polite and ladylike in the sense where, and all that. Like, no. She gonna give it to you. And I actually appreciate that about her. I love that style of play. She'll trash talk. She be going to the free throw line. You just see her talk the mess. I'm like, y'all gonna have to move the camera because I'm reading her list. I'm like, she's saying, wow. Like she going in. But I like that. So that is another reason why she won't win Rookie of the Year. They don't want that image as the image of the league. They don't want aggressive women to be the image of the WNBA. They want them to be more feminine, is the air quoted word. And Angel is not even plays for that part of the team, if you know what I'm talking about, right? It's just who she is. She's aggressive on the court, but she seems very feminine outside the court. But Caitlin she's the image, she's the idea. And it's not like she's just had a horrible season. She's been balling. She's, been doing her thing. So that's enough. I think she's averaging like 18 and 5, something like that. Like round those numbers. I mean, that's probably gonna do it. So I don't think she has a chance to win it. I don't think Angel actually can. Well, I'm not gonna say that. She probably does. That would bother her, but she already knows. That's why she plays with such a chip on her shoulder, because she knows Caitlin gets to shine. You know what I mean? It's gonna be what it's gonna be. But I'm a fan of Angel. I think she's good for the league. She really is.
Wudi, you're a betting man. Where are you putting that money, son?
I think we're getting into a point where Angel deserves serious consideration. But, the question is, where am I putting my money? Put it on Kayla Clark. But Angel Reese, I'm actually extremely impressed. From the college rivalry, I didn't really think it was a rivalry. Caitlin Clark was, Steph Curry almost in female form, putting up 30, can get 30 and 10 very easily. And Angel Reese was more like, I said his name before, Clint Capella, just getting rebounds, can put it back up, like 10, maybe 10 points, 12 rebounds, something like that. But like, it's not like there was never a time at LSU where they were like, all right, let's work this offensive play through Angel Reese. She's getting putbacks. She's getting putbacks. In the WNBA, that has changed. Their last, Fever versus Sky game, which the Sky won, and Angel outscored Caitlin Clark and had 16 rebounds. She's expanded her game. And I know, they showed the clips off season of her working on, including expanding her range and all that. And people, they laughed, she deals with so much heat that I am so relieved to see that the Heat has only lit that fire under her, because a lot of people get burned. They get burned, I can't log into this. They calling me that. They're doing this, and they just get burned. They shriveled up. But she has surpassed my expectations. She is now on the longest double streak in WNBA rookie history. 9, going for 10 in her next game. And again, it's not just putbacks. They actually are working plays through her, and she's scoring. She's shooting over 60%. I don't even want to tell you what Caitlin Clark is shooting from the field, 38%. So, Angel Reese, I mean, it's
Bronny shoots a higher percentage, just so you know. He shoots 39. Just so you want.
39. So, if I'm, in Angel Reese's camp, I'm super proud. She's become a lot better over the years, and I think it now is a rivalry because she can hold her own.
Yeah, it's going to be – I can't wait till the run out of the season happens, where the awards go to. But better still, I can't wait until next season to see how these rookies that came in with such gusto, such bravado, and they changed the dynamic of the league, how they've put one season under their belt, how they matured, and how they take the next season and everything going forward, because the spotlight is on them. And I think – for the most part, almost every one of them is doing their job and having a great season, or a season that can really get better, only get better, not only for themselves and also for the league. I want to double back though, because I did miss a topic because I was so excited to talk about this Angel Reese rookie of the year candidate thing race. We got to talk about very quickly Jamal Murray, because he signed an extension with the Nuggets. Now, his extension is 4 years. $209 million, which also makes Murray and Jokic to be under the same contract with the same team, the Denver Nuggets, the championship-winning Denver Nuggets, until 2028. That's a big deal. And also, with a little bit of a caveat, Caldwell Pope is rumored to, if he hasn't done it already, is declining his player option, which doesn't mean that he's necessarily not going to be with the Nuggets. It just means that the Nuggets have to listen to all the other numbers that are coming up to kind of lure him outside of the Nugget organization. So who knows? They have to see, because if he declines free agency, we'll see what happens. Let's talk about this real quick and then move on. Caleeb, let's hit you up first. What do you think about Murray's extension and the Nuggets going forward?
I think they have to. He is essential. He is essential to Jokic's game. They play together. He had a very bad game 7. That's obvious. He missed a lot of shots, but they wouldn't have been in game 7 if he hadn't hit all those other shots he had hit before to get them to that. So it's like, it's okay. You're gonna take that with Jamal Murray. He's worth the money. He's absolutely one of the best point guards in the game, one of the best scoring point guards in the game. I think he proved that last season and then doubled down it this season with his performances in the playoffs. Granted, the seventh game, I know game 7 he's supposed to show up and all that, and he didn't. Cool. But I think he's worth it. I think it's something that keeps Denver in the mix. Again, cohesiveness. I heard the thing about Pope. Of course, he's going to opt out because he wants money. He's like that's what he's going to do. That's what OG did. OG wasn't leaving. He just opted out. They're like, all right, yep, give him the contract. He's there, right? So that's what's just going to happen with Pope, because I don't think they want to let him go. I think he's another integral part. Once you start getting used to players where players just know where to go. They used to say, now I don't know if this is true or not, but they said Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison Sr., not Jr. I'm looking forward to see what Jr. do this year. But anyway, used to throw the football in the dark, like at night without the lights, and throw it, because they would just know he would go. Not that you can't see, but you really can't. Like, you got to pay. But he said he would just know. Peyton would just know, like, place it, and Marvin would be there, and he would catch it more times than not. Like, so that way in the game, you could just be going cut, and you just know, boom, and the ball, like, because the game is so fast. I think that's what it's like in basketball. You're coming down the court. How you think Magic, the Showtime Lakers, Magic go? He looked, right, because he knew big game was going to be there, because he did it 100 times. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that's what happens with cohesiveness. Teams that just be trading and letting people go, you never really catch it. You know what I'm saying? You never really catch it. So I think it's a good thing for the Nuggets, and they should be back in contention next season.
Wudi.
Yeah, I'm so glad you came back to this topic, because this is exactly what I was thinking of when Caleeb said that he does not have the Mavs coming back to the finals. I would agree, wholeheartedly agree. I think the Nuggets are still the team to beat. You know, he highlighted Jamal Murray, having a bad game 7. Michael Porter Jr. had a horrific series.
Woo!
A horrific. My man was shooting tour dates, 2 12, 3 for 17. I mean, he was it was bad. It was bad. You know, Nigel, you said I'm a betting man. He killed every single parlay I had that whole series.
I know you.
So when he comes back next year, you know, if he can play like Michael Porter Jr. And not play like Jonte Porter, I think the Nuggets will be back because that's a super team. So what they did by securing Murray is they secured their window, and Murray, Jokic, Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon is probably the best top four in the league.
Yeah.
You know? So I really think, you know, just having those guys play well, they will remain the team to beat.
And real quick, I just want to say, caveat, because I'm a big Michael Porter Jr. fan. Listen, he had family issues. He had two brothers that were down real bad at that time. And I'm just saying, like that could weigh on you a little bit, especially when you like, damn, I got to take care of all these MS by myself now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. So like he did have to deal with some major family issues. You know what I mean? That were embarrassing and all of that. So I'm just saying that might have took a little hitch put a little hitch in his giddy up.
I couldn't agree more. I definitely think the Nuggets are the team still to beat. Look, do you know how hard it is to win a championship, especially to win it back to back? I mean, we all strive for it. We all want to see it, but that's hard, man. And the probability of teams winning a championship and then losing out in the playoffs the next season and then coming back and winning a championship, probably higher. Because there's something about that run. It takes a lot to do that. So let's hope that the Nuggets, put all their money where their mouth is and they do the thing and they win the next one, because I would love that. Let's jump to the section of the show that I love the most, because this means I don't get to talk for the rest of the show. We talking about UFC, baby. Something I know nothing about other than cool trunks and cool backgrounds. That's all I know about the UFC. I don't think there's a fight in this one, but we'll see. Let's talk about UFC 303, the main event, which is huge. This is the second fight between Pereira and Prozetska.
No, you said it.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
The R's in Portuguese are like H's.
Yeah, I should know that. I grew up in a predominantly Portuguese neighborhood. But Pereira and Jiri, like, what's happening? Are they going to even the score? Look, Wudi, what's happening in this fight?
You know, the last time I was on this show and talked Poatan, and Strike Zone, but so here's the thing. I'm a huge fan of both of these fighters. I think both of these fighters are two of the most dynamic strikers in the entire UFC. If there was like a UFC casual fan that's like, oh, I kind of watch fights from here, here and there, but I don't really follow anyone, this is a fight that you would want them to see, because there will be some amazing striking in this fight. I think Yuri was winning the first. He was tagging Poatan, but to Caleb's point, the last time I brought this up, you're winning till you're not, and Poatan, what Poatan means is hands of stone. And I mean, I don't know if there's a nickname any better fit in pro sports than calling Alex Pereira Poatan, because he does have hands of stone. When he does connect, he drives guys. That's what's happened to Yuri. But I know Yuri, bringing that human element into it and the motivation of both guys. I mean, Poatan, his mindset, or what it looks like, because I don't live in these guys' minds, so I can only guess from what I'm seeing. But he's talking about heavyweight. He wants to become the first UFC fighter to ever hold 3 titles in different weight classes. That's never happened. I think he could do it, but that's where his mindset is hey, I want to do that. Oh, Yuri right now? All right, yeah, let me beat him real quick. And then, we'll chase that. Yuri, all he has thought about since getting knocked out by Poatan is getting his belt back. That every day, eating, breathing, sleeping, with every breath, with every bite, he's like, oh, I need to get this belt back. There's nothing that's going to stand in my way. He was getting tagged by Alexander Rakic, the UFC 300. He didn't care. He almost looked inhuman. It was like fighting the Undertaker. He was hit, and he just came back. He did not even affect him. I think there is nothing you can put in front of this man that's going to get in his way, and that's why for the human element, the motivation, I'm going to say that Yuri evens the score because he just wanted more Poatan. He's become a star now. I'm not going to say Ronda Rousey because, but it's the, he's doing, these side things for social media. He's doing, these different media obligations. He's become their biggest star. They stepped in for Connor, right, with the star power. So I just don't know if he is thinking about this fight as much as Yuri is definitely thinking about this fight.
You know what? You brought up a lot of good points, and I agree with you, but I would just say you're on the right track, just the wrong train. Okay? Because first off, the thing is this. What I tell you about that punch, it catch you at mid-flight on the darkest night. Yuri knows that now. So that's in here. Yes, the human element. Yuri wants him. Yuri's been training. Yuri's been on it. Here's what made me say Yuri has already lost. So I'm watching because I watch all the interviews and everything. So they're doing press. And Yuri, and so they're asking Yuri about Poatan. And he says, well, I'd like to ask Alex, because he before fights, he sees shamans and they do all these things. I just want him to have a clean fight. Can he fight me without doing that? I'm like, oh, you're done. You think this is magic. You think you're fighting and like you don't think he's human. It's a wrap, right? So then they interview Poatan, and he's like I love this dude. He's unaffected. They ask him, I thought he would laugh. He says, and then he responds in Portuguese, and the translator says, well, if he's not in touch with his spiritualness, that's his problem, not mine. Done. I was like, it's over.
That was a spiritual fist. Was just like,
it's already. If you think you're fighting God, you can't win. His mind won't let him. That means when Poatan hits him, it don't even have to be that hard. He's gonna be like, oh my God, Samson just punched me. Like, you know what I mean? It's not human, it's holy. See, I knew he cheated. He should have a shaman walk out with him. Yuri would be done. He'd be like, no, get him away from me. You know what I mean? He has his mind, which is the human element that Wudi was just preaching. I agree. I'm just on the other side of it. Because when I saw that, I said, oh, that shit is in here. He's terrified of this dude. Can you just not do that? Could you imagine if you asked the dude, hey, I know you be praying. Can you not pray before our match? Just because, you get special help when that happens. You're done. You already lost.
It's a wrap.
So,
I can't lie. That's a pretty good point.
But no, I'm just talking about mentality. I'm saying they're equal because Yuri is a monster. But not when you're facing a dude you don't think is human. When you think God shoots arrows before he walks it. Like it's a different intimidation level. It feels like even at your best, you can't beat him. It's what happened with DC and John Jones. He was crying in the ring. No matter what, they just can't get up you, right? I'm like, damn, DC. It's not a rivalry if you never win. I'll never forget that. But he was devastated because he's like, this dude can't be. And John's being the dick that he is, which is why I love him. He says, yeah, after a night of cocaine binging, I came and whooped your ass. It just breaks that man's spirit. And I think that's what has happened with Yuri. And we will see, because anything can happen. Yuri may be like, because Izzy didn't know he was going to knock out Poatan. He was like, oh yeah, right? He was surprised. So it could happen. But I'm just saying, I've never seen a man say that ever about like you went to spirituality. Like Damn. So I think Poetan gets him strictly on that, because that means when it comes down to it and it's your last and last, you think he has some help that you don't have. And I just think it does something to your mind. So, and one more thing, not this fight. There's a fight that's before it, y'all. Diego Lopez and Brian Ortega. Let me tell you something. I like Ortega, but Lopez finna put them paws on him. He finna put them paws on him. Deep down in Mexico. I'm trying to tell you right now. I'm trying to tell you them Jaguar paws. Wop, 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 wop. It's about to go down. I think Diego Lopez takes that, but I'm done with that. So those are my 2 picks for the fight.
Wait, question, because now you talking about other fights on the card. I feel like the fight that I'm looking forward to a lot is Ian Gary.
Oh, yes,
MVP.
against Michael Venom.
Yeah.
Listen, I think Michael Page wins. I mean, you know what? I don't. I think Ian's gonna get him. I like Michael Page. I just don't. There's something about him. It's just, I don't know.
That's how I feel too. Like he's obviously extremely good. Like he bodied Kevin Holland, but I feel like there's something about him. Ian Gary is a very, very talented fighter. I know he gets a lot of hate, but he's very technically sound. He's a strong striker. We've seen his chin get tested. I think that's it. I don't think Page has the chin that Gary has. Gary's gonna get hit. There's no way you're not gonna get hit. You fight Michael Venom Page. But if Gary lands on Page, stance, his hands down, below his waist, if he gets tagged at the right angle, I think he's going down.
Because he should have been able to stop Holland, and he didn't.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to see if the Fist of God makes a cameo and takes another life in the octagon tomorrow. That 303 UFC 303 is scheduled for tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern in Las Vegas. Shocking. It's going to be a wild one, and you know what? We will recap it next Friday, and as per usual, I will not say a word. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to move on to our last topic of the day. We want to talk about Sha'Carri Richardson qualifying for the Paris Olympics. After the marijuana suspension that happened in 2021, she ran a time of 10.71. That's the fastest time in the world this year. So she's expected to also make the USA 200 team as well. Dangerous. This girl's got a chariot for legs, like she runs like the wind. Let's talk about her reactions. Wudi.
I'm overjoyed. When I saw it, I had to add it to this docket. I mean, I feel like she was becoming a superstar 3 years ago, and then this. I guess we can talk about the validity of the suspension and all that type of stuff, and if we, all that, but. Now she gets a second chance. It's tough with the Olympics, right? Because every 4 years, I think that's the thing that really kills me, is that you really only get a couple cracks at this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not somewhere where you're done for a couple months. No, she had to wait years and years. Her prime, you only have a specific window of time. So for her to come in here, and still beat the brakes off of everybody else and qualify. I cannot wait to see her perform in Petty. And I hope that the country can rally around her and help her recoup some of the funds she would have earned, right? You look at some of the other peers, the Olympic, medalists of the past, Michael Phelps, Simone Biles, what they've been able to rake in advertising-wise. I think she has what it takes to become one of the next faces of U.S. Olympic sports. So I'm hoping that, she just keeps her ascension going and that nothing can stand in her way now.
I couldn't agree more. I'm so happy for her because I thought that was so BS. Like, weed, for real. You guys act like that's performance enhancing. If I was going to get somebody in a race and I found out they smoke, I say, please let them run. Please. like that's the dumbest thing ever. Right. So And that was heartbreaking. So I'm glad to see her come back like this. I'm rooting for her all the way. I like, now that I like her, I'm like, I love all the ghetto-ness, the long nails, all that. Like, go on, girl. Like, go on to do it. Wear 4 chains when you do it. Just be as ignorant as you want to be. Like, that's what the white America hates, that when she got the American flag and she up there, bump a sexy red when she come out, right? They're like, no. So I want to see her win. I want to see her do her thing. I'll tell you this though, Mathing Mu, who failed, and she tripped, and she don't make the Olympic team in the 800. Devastating. I hate that about ours, like other countries, they make exceptions. They're like, well, she is the best in the world. Go on and make the team. You on the team. It don't matter. And I understand there's integrity and all that. And we say that's what makes us great. I just think that's so bad. She got tricked, and it wasn't on purpose, and she fell, and she doesn't make the Olympic roster. And she was the defending gold medalist in that event. Tragic. And if we lose, people are gonna be like, see, we need to change that. So I had to give her a special shout out. My heart goes out to you. I felt so bad, so bad, but I'm glad to see Sha'Carri up in there. I'm glad to see her do her thing. I am absolutely rooting for her. I can't wait for track and field, gymnastics, and those two are my favorite. But swimming, I love watching swimming. I love it, all of it, diving, all of it. I just leave it on all day. I love it. Love it. Rowing too. I watch rowing. You know, the long boats.
a person was growing up in a certain geographical area when they're just like, I love rowing. You know, the long boats. They not long boats completely different. They're just like a rowboat. I love it so much. That's really funny. And I do believe that I was going to bring it up, that there was I should have done the research, but in the spur of the moment, we were talking about how hard it is to make an Olympic team. And Wudi, you were saying specifically how hard it is to make a U.S. team. And we were talking about how hard it is to make the U.S. women's basketball team. They just had a competition. This was a week ago between 2 women swimmers, because they had one more spot left, and they actually had to swim against each other. And that was it. It was just them two, and they had to go at it toe to toe to find out who gets in the last spot. And I mean, what kind of circumstances, you don't want to be in those kind of circumstances. Like that's a tough thing, because you're going against like a friend, a colleague. I'm sure they swam together, if not before, they swam against each other, and then here you are pitted for a chance in a lifetime to compete against the arguably or the best athletes in the world. We have come towards the end, my friend. This is the run out, the final segment of the show, which is what did we miss? I will start, and I'll tell you what we missed, which was the Panthers winning the Lord Stanley Cup in Game 7. That was forced by the Canadian Edmonton Oilers. And man, did those guys fight right to the bitter end. I've watched 3 complete games of hockey this season. I'm very proud of myself. And those 3 was like Game 7, Game 6, and Game 5. Those are of the Stanley Cup Finals. They were exciting. Listen, would have been great to see the Oilers win it. Understandably, that's a tough draw to pull out 4 wins in a row in a game that is heavily that's so taxing on your mind and your body. So shout out to the Florida Panthers. Stanley Cup is just getting the suntan. Hope it uses high SPF. And we're also talking about things like the Euros. If you guys aren't watching soccer right now, man, there was a week straight where you could watch soccer from 9 a.m. Eastern all the way to 10 p.m. Eastern. There were soccer games every 3 hours. There's quite a few games on today, so tune in to your local broadcast, whoever that is. But the Euros is really coming down to the wire, so the playoffs are happening so quick. I believe it starts Monday or Tuesday. I could definitely be wrong on that, but it might start earlier. And also the Copa America, USA, y'all just got a red card in yesterday's game when you were playing Panama, and you ended up losing 2-1 in the last couple minutes of the game too. It was a wild one. Listen, if you're not watching Copa and you want to see, hey, where does soccer and violence meet? Watch Copa, because some of them teams are just vicious and aggressive. So start getting on that train, the Euro train. Anything I missed, gentlemen? Anything we missed?
No, well, no, I don't think so. But I was going to say the whole thing about like the American thing, because it was on our news about the player getting the red card and all this. Yeah. And they're like, oh, and then our players are getting bashed with racism. And I'm like, has anybody been to Panama? Do you know how many black people are in? Everybody in Panama look like us. Wudi is from Panama. Like, if he spoke Spanish, they would be like, he is absolutely Panamanian. Have you, I'm like, I don't know where people get all this stuff. Like, oh, they're being, like, man, 80% of their population is Negro. That's like it's in, and I'm exaggerating, it's not that high, but what I mean is it's a lot of black people that are Panamanian, right? Like, that are Panamanian players and all that. I'm like, it's like all this stuff. Yes, racism is in everything. We got to get used to it, but it's just, and used to it sounds wrong, but it's like pretty much you have to. People are going to talk mess no matter what. White people experience racism. Ask Caitlin Clark. You think what they saying to her that you don't hear on TV? It's like they saying everything before her name, before her adjective is white girl. And it might be white B word. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest, so it is like it's all part of it. So, it's good. But homeboy, he got the red card and they said that was the reason why America lost. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But I haven't watched it, but I'll start checking it, because soccer is like a weird one for me. Because I just be like, damn, because they get it's so like important. And I'm like, for what? You know what I mean? That's how people feel about football out, because I'm like, oh my God. Like, and they be like, what are you talking about? It's just a ball and they're running. It's stupid. I'm like, yeah. So because it's not an American thing like that, we weren't fed it. It has less, because in India, they're going crazy over cricket. I'm like, what? I don't even get it. You know what I mean? So it is, it's just different regions, different things, but I'll definitely check it out. But Monday, Wimbledon starts.
Oh boy.
Y'all know I love tennis.
Caleb's Tennis Corner coming right up. A new segment.
I can actually do that. I can actually talk about, listen, I love it. I love it. I literally watch it all day long. Like, when it's on, I watch all the matches. They just be on my TV all day.
Yeah, we know. And I also forgot, I should let you know that the round of 16 in the Euros, it starts tomorrow. I thought it started Sunday, but it starts tomorrow. So all the bracket is set, because I know things were a little shaky towards the end. So it starts tomorrow. Check it out. Wudi, anything you got?
Yeah. I forget the league now, but I know that Japan smacked the U.S. in football.
Football, under 21, I believe it was.
Yes. So that's really, to me, I'm actually really excited, because what did we just say for the NBA draft? Look at all those French dudes that got drafted, into the NBA. MLB, right? The best player is arguably Ohtani, right? From Japan.
Yeah.
Right. Where else? I feel like I was going to say, soccer, right? We just imported Messi, right, to Miami, but football, there are no import. This is a domestic sport. Can you imagine, the days of now, like, oh, you see this wide receiver out of Japan, like,
that would be dope. We got an Asian kicker in Atlanta.
Yes.
And dude is like the best. Yeah.
He's been on my fantasy team like 2 or 3 seasons.
He's dope.
Sure. Yeah.
Here's the thing. What you didn't see why Japan won is because they make everybody take shots of sake before the game. And then they're like, let's go. And everybody's like, oh, it's just drunk. That's what happened. They got us all drunk before it. You know what I mean? You ever see Nerds? When my boy was on the tricycle, he just drinking it. It's like that. That's how they did us. You know what I'm saying? But nah, all jokes aside, it'd be great to see that. It would be dope to see a Japanese player or somebody from a different country like that come and hang in our league. Now is the time to do it, because you can't hit them no more. It'd be different when you can lay that hat on.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. So I hope that this is a step toward that, because that's what happened in basketball. Like, the dream team smacked everybody. Then all of a sudden, Argentina was winning, Spain was winning, and now the league is full of Jokic's and Doncic's running around. So how long will it be till we have Miyagi's running around in the NFL?
That would be insane.
Yeah, you best look out, because there's probably gonna be some more Canadians showing up, because Canada beat Brazil 110-0 in that same tournament. You know what, kids? This has been the pop off. You have been watching us, listening to us, supporting us. Thank you so much. This is another podcast that is a part of the Morning Brew Sports Network, which is a huge juggernaut in the sports entertainment world. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell all your friends. Let us know how we did. Let us know how we can be better. We want to engage with you. But this weekend, we want you to have the best time. Let's have some final words. Mr. Wudi?
Yeah, trying to rest up. Your boy, everyone in my household has COVID. I did this show with the power of Peloton. Whatever he be doing before the fights, that's what I did before the show. So your boy's gonna be having a lot of soup, a lot of water, Dayquil, NyQuil, all the quills. We're gonna be feeling better. But for everybody able-bodied out there, enjoy the sun, enjoy the race. It's summertime. Summertime.
One of my favorite songs of all time. Caleeb.
Yes, enjoy the beautiful day. It is a wonderful day out here in Southern California. It's already 300 degrees. Like I said, if hell is this hot, I got to straighten up.
Doesn't get much better than that. On behalf of Wudi, Caleeb, G, me, it's also in the back. He pops up every once in a while when we talk smack about his Yankees and his Knicks. Hey, you've been listening to the Pop Off. I'm probably going to buy a hat today. Peace.